So now I want to go to some questions for the fans, because before we get onto our holiday cakelet, I want to answer some of the questions you guys wrote me on Facebook. Give me the questions. All right, so here's the first one now. Kathy M asked me, how long did it take you to learn how to pipe? It's a very, very good question. Well, you know what, Kathy? Piping to me, there's so many forms of it, right? So filling a cannoli is a piping technique. Filling an eclair is a piping technique. Piping drop lines or string work on a wedding cake is all piping. What people don't realize, it's all muscle memory. And the more you do it, the more cannolis you fill, the more cookies you bag out, or cream puffs, the better you get at it. I think for you to be a master piper, I think you need at least 2 years of doing it like every day, doing some really good stuff. And you know what? A lot of people don't realize that what makes you a good piper is not only having the right tips to pipe with, but the turntable. My biggest, most important tool in cake decorating is a turntable, and that's why my piping looks so good. Later, when I do some piping, you guys will pick up on that. Next question. All right, what do we got here? We got Miss Terry S. And she says, what can I do to keep my pumpkin pie from pulling away from the crust? Very good. Well, Terry, I think that you might be over baking it slightly. So what I would say is lower your oven temperature a little bit and maybe take it out a couple minutes early, because as you bake it, it's kind of like, you know, rising and sucking in at the end. So my suggestion would be lower the oven a little bit and then cut your baking time a little bit. Rosario T, what treat do your kids ask for the most? I don't know. I think we're gonna have to ask Sophia that. What's your favorite treat?
Chocolate chip cookies.
Chocolate chip gooey cookies from Carlo's Bakery. And the truth of the matter is, I bring home little dough balls, you know, because we pre-make them, and then I just bake them off nice and warm, and you can't go wrong with that. All right. Next question is Marwa B. What is your favorite non-dessert food and meal? Well, to be honest with you, I like everything. Look at me. I mean, I eat way more than I should. But when my wife makes Sunday gravy, I mean, it is incredible. I mean, it's a big pot of gravy that starts 8 o'clock in the morning. And she starts by frying up garlic and olive oil, and you wake up to the smell. And there's meatballs, sausage, braciole in there, and it's just tomato sauce with pasta. And a whole loaf of bread, forget about it. I know you guys want to come over on Sunday, so we'll see. Maybe next time. So, what can you advise to all your fans who also want to be such amazing bakers just like you? Well, look, I got to be honest with you guys. I truly love the fans. It means the world to me to know that I inspire you to want to bake. It means the world to me that I know that I make you want to enjoy television as a family. It's been awesome. If you want to go into the baking industry, my recommendation to anybody is go work at a bakery. Do it for, even if you're doing it for free or work in the front. Understand the in and outs of it so you really know what you're getting yourself into. And if you still want to do it, then I recommend going to culinary school. I mean, honestly, the story with Gabby is she came in and said, you know, basically, I want to work at the bakery for free to learn. And I mean, no.
I had never touched a cake before I started working at the bakery.
That's it.
The decorators taught me everything I know.
And the thing that's great about somebody like Gabby, who's been amazing, is that tell them what you get to learn here. I mean, really, when you see it, and what's the difference of like really being in it? It's right.
It's amazing because you come in here. I didn't know even how to ice a cake, and then all of a sudden, fast forward a year, you know how to ice cake. And I said to Buddy, I made Groovy Girls. I don't know if you guys know them. They're the purple flour cake. Yeah. And I made Groovy Girls for 1.5 years. And I said, Buddy, if I make one more Groovy Girl, I'm gonna go crazy. And he said, you're gonna thank me. And I said, I don't know. And then he said, you're gonna get on a bigger cake, and your muscles in your hands are gonna know what to do. And it's just about practicing and practicing and practicing, because it's true.
Well, that's it. You know, people don't realize this, but I'm a great cake decorator because I made thousands and thousands of cakes. When I say I can do it blindfolded, I literally can. And it just becomes muscle memory, and then you get better and you do other stuff. So it's just a great thing. All right, what else we got? Rosie B wants to know, when you're in a pinch, what's your go-to cake recipe? Oh, my vanilla cake recipe is hands down, I think, one of the best on the market. It's the best cake recipe I've ever had. It's just because it's moist, it's great, it's delicious. Always go with vanilla cake. You got another question up there? All right, so
On
now
Gabby's first day, we threw all 14 cousins at her, and she watched all of them, and that's how she learned how to play with me all the time.
Oh. Okay. All right. So, Sue from Manaloose, New York, wants to know. I got it, baby. I'm not blind, Fia. What tip are you using for the little rosettes on the ombre cake? That was a number 16 star tip. And that's part of what I want people to know, and that's why we're trying to do more of these things. When you buy a tip set and you have like 20 or 30 of them, believe it or not, each of those tips do a different job, and there's a lot to do. So we want to show you that. If you click the product tab, you can see all the different tips and all the different designs of what we do. All right, why do you use cornstarch instead of powdered sugar when rolling out fondant? Call me a little crazy, because I am a little crazy, but I just like the feel of the powder of the cornstarch versus the powdered sugar. It just has a different feel on the fondant and on my hands. I'm a little obsessive compulsive with my hands, just a little bit, and it works. Either one works fine, so it's up to you. I'm intrigued by the way Buddy holds the piping bag. I thought you had to push the frosting all the way down by the tip. I know, I'm looking, it's live. I'm trying to see it. Why? This iPad's killing me here. Okay, I got it now. Why does he let some of the frosting stay near the opening? Why does he let some frosting stay near the opening?
I know why.
All right, so let me see. All right, so basically, when I get a piping bag, right, the trick with piping is that
You want to grab what you could hold.
Yeah, exactly. You want to grab what you can hold, but you squeeze your thumb and pointer finger together, and you kind of make what I tell people is like the sure sign, like sure, yeah. You make the sure sign, you keep that tight, and you have like this little bubble pouch, right? Then you're going to apply pressure with your other fingers. And the more you squeeze like this all the way down. So it's all the fingers you're squeezing with. And a lot of it's just pulses and stuff like that. So that's how you pipe. All right, Erin Yu wants to know, where did your dad learn how to bake, and what was his favorite dessert? My dad learned how to bake. His dad was a baker, and his dad before him was a baker. But my grandfathers were both actually bread bakers. And when my dad came to America when he was 13, he had been working at his grandfather's bread bakery, and his father said to him, "You don't want to be a bread baker." He says, "You want to be a cake baker." He says, "You got to get up at certain hours of the night," and he wanted a better baking job for his son, so he put my dad to be a pot washer at Carlo's Bakery, and that was when he was 13 years old. He worked there for 13 years, and after 13 years, he was 26. He bought Carlo's Bakery from Mr. Carlo, and has been in my family since 1963. So that's really the story of how he got into it. Bonnie T wants to know, what would have I done if I didn't get into baking? I don't know. What do you think? Maybe this television thing? No, I'm kidding. Yeah, maybe, shortstop New York Yankees, and Derek's out of a job, so we'll see what happens. No, I don't know. I feel like I was good with baking is my passion. I feel like I want to work with my hands. I probably would have made a good lawyer or businessman because, a lot of people only see one aspect of this. And I truly put this together because I want people to be inspired to bake at home. I want you guys to become your own cake bosses, you know? So I hope that you guys do it and make me proud. And if you do, you gotta Facebook it, tweet it, Instagram it to me, because I love to see that I inspire you guys. All right, guys, I just about wraps up our time here tonight, unfortunately.